Before starting any work, make sure that the machine is completely isolated from the mains so that it's not connected. So switching off at the mains here, making sure that there's no power on the machine. Where you've got a separate main socket somewhere in your sink area, remove that as well. So belt and braces, and make sure that there's no display lit on the machine before you start doing any work. Remove the rotor from here, just pull it straight out. Take the filter out. Now in there, in the sump, there will be some bit of water to minimise what's going to inevitably leak out the bottom when you remove the pump. You need to just extract that. Now on other videos I watch before, YouTube videos, I have to say, before starting this job myself, I wanted to learn as much as I could about other models of dishwasher. There wasn't one on this model that I could find. They used a turkey baster. If you've got one, that's great. If not, just a kitchen sponge in there, soak it up, empty it out, keep till you bail it out till it's as dry as you can get it, and that will minimise the leakage. So first thing is remove the mains connector. If you don't remove that, you won't be able to get the micro controller, the controller for the machine. It won't come out unless that connector is out. Having slid the machine out of its housing, we now need to remove this metal plate first of all, after having removed the mains plug. Now take out that T15 Torx head screw there, and you'll also need to get a screwdriver, flat blade screwdriver, and just lever that tab out slightly, and then this plate will come forward and up a little bit to release these lugs that are holding there, and then drop it down to come clear of the two lugs at the bottom of the machine, and that plate comes off. The microcontroller is then exposed. Then you can remove the microcontroller, and I just swung it out and put it to the side here. Don't disconnect it completely, there's no point, and you're likely to do more damage. Well, there's the controller laid carefully to the side. Be very careful about not tugging on any of the cables there, and we can see the pump right in the centre of the screen, which the next objective is to take the cables from that and remove it. We've got to remove that connector there carefully, one with the purple wires, and then the one with the grey wires, and the one we may have to move the pump out first with the heater connections, the red larger cable there with the red connectors and the green earth. And so we need to move this little black tab back to be able to get the connector to slide out. I'm not going to actually be able to film that because I'm stuck trying to film through a little slot, but you can see there that black tab that I've just been moving out the way. And there it is. By pushing that black tab to the right, the connector then slides out straight away. So don't try and force it. Next we need to remove this rubber support that's holding up the back of the pump motor. Just moved it off and over to the side. That's a support, and it takes anti-vibration as well. It's a rubber flexible mount that supports the back of the rear end of the pump motor. Roughly in the centre of the screen now, there is this clamp around the hose there, and you need to get a blade of the screwdriver in, flick it, and it will come off. Now we can remove the pump. So we need to be careful as we move the pump because these two are still attached. So the pump, we're going to need to move it to the right bring it out that connector. And down. And this lug, of course, is making it rather difficult at the bottom here. I'll have to stop filming, I think, to try and get this out. I've released it already, but the trick to removing this larger connector that has the connections, the red wires there go into the heater, is to actually, very difficult to film I'm afraid, but pushing downwards will release a little catch on the back of the plug. And can you see it there? It's got a little bit of brown on it for some reason. I'm not sure what that is, some leak that's happening in the machine, but you can see there's a little catch there, just above my finger there. So pushing down, tilting it downwards will release that, and then you can pull back. So I don't think there was any catch on that connector I was struggling to get out. In the end, I got a small flat blade screwdriver in well underneath the wires, those grey wires going into the connector, and levered it there. And as soon as I got that in, it moved. I removed the screwdriver, gave it a wiggle by hand, and out it came. So be very careful not to damage the grey wires there coming out of that connector. So before putting the new pump in, take the Jubilee clip that's been supplied with the pump, and then making sure that you have the screwdriver slot facing back towards you to make it easy. Put that up over that. Now when you tighten it, there's supposed to be a 5mm gap from the bottom of this socket that it's going into to the top of the Jubilee clip. So where I'm running my fingernail up and down, when you tighten it, that should be even all the way round and 5mm up. Now you can see inside that connector there, I'm struggling, so I don't have a tripod or anything set up here. I'm just filming with my mobile to show you. That's already got a lubricant around the inside, so that's great. But this one, we'll just put a bit of washing up liquid around it to make sure that it slides in nice and easily. Now as I fit the new pump, I'll be putting in, I can't see what I'm doing here, I'm doing it by feel. I'll be going into that outlet there first, and then swinging the pump body round to go into that one. Sorry about this filming, but it's just incredibly frustrating to try and work in this tiny little slot, position the camera, hold it by hand and try and work, but I do my best anyway. So we'll know when the pump is back in properly, because you can see that little lug below the white connector there. That will need to go up a bit more, the pump will need to go up a bit more, so that that is touching the bottom of that white section there, the flexible joint. Okay, and back here, again I'm trying to film with my hands in the way and all the rest of it. This rubber suspension support here for the back of the motor needs to be vertical, so you can see that the motor assembly, I'll need to prise it round a little bit more, swinging it to my left here, just so that becomes vertical and I know it's in the right place. So there's the Jubilee clip in place there. It might be maybe only 4mm rather than 5, but I think it's generally in the right place, and it's done up reasonably tight. I don't want to over tighten it. I mean, if we don't do it tight enough, there's going to be leaks, but I don't want to risk cracking the pipe from the new pump. So I've done it up to what I'd call firm finger tight. So here they are. Here we are with the all the connectors back onto the heater pump. They all went back in very easily. The connector, the small connector there in the centre of the screen with the grey wires, was the one that was a little bit frustrating to get out. When it went back in, it went in with a little click, and it makes me think that my advice of putting the flat blade screwdriver underneath it, making sure not to be past the where the grey wires enter the connector, so you're onto the body of the connector further in towards the centre of the pump there, before lifting slightly was enough to release it. But it all went back together easily. So now I'm keen just to get the controller back in position, and let's see if it's working and I've got a happy wife, or whether I'm going to be in the doghouse. So let's get the controller back in position, being very gentle with it. Now, can I just point out what we're seeking to do is line up that lug into that hole, and that lug into that hole, and on the back with the where the cable enters has got to line up at the back with the rectangular cutout there. So that's what we're trying to do now, as we do a little wiggle and twist, and it's obviously got to come forward, and let's see if we can get it to wriggle in. I'll have to just show you a photo when it's in place, I think, or a picture when it's in place. You see there's a lug there that's got to go behind. That there and that there. So that has got to come in front of that as we put it back in. And there it is, click back in place. Now there's that protective cover we need to put back on top. So it's just butted up there, and now I think just pressing down, yeah, you had it there snap into place, so the cover's back on. Let's now drop down the felt, which I've just got some tools holding it back at the top there. Get that dropped down into position. To replace this metal cover back in place, these cutouts and these little plastic lugs, get those engaged at the bottom first and then come vertical. So that's got a hook on there is what I'm trying to say, and work one-handed, and blow me, it's gone back into position. So this is what you're looking to achieve. Those lugs engaged at the bottom, then here, can you see, it's just hooked over the plate at that point, and there where we had to prise it a little bit, I've just pushed that back in again slightly, and now here refix the screw. There's a Torx T15 screw to go in there and just hold that metal plate fixed in place. All back in place, lined up there, the two lugs protruding through at the bottom there and there. Down at the bottom you can see the darker grey piece, that's called, for some reason that's a suction cup they're calling it, and With the new motor I got a replacement one, so I've got to prise that one out now and fit the replacement, which I've got just here. And we can see it's got a little lug just there at the tip of my finger, and I think we'll need to just prise it away at that point, and then it should lift out the old one, and then we'll drop the new one in. Well, that just popped straight out with a flick at the back. I'll keep that, the original part, for now, but since they supplied it, I presume they must experience some wear. I think I've got that in about the right place, the two ends lining up with the mouldings. See if I can get a bit of light on it for you. Yeah, but it's not clicked in place now, so I'll just give it a bit of a press and see if I can encourage it just to pop in. Yeah, so that went in with a firm snap, so I'm convinced that's in place. Yeah, no, good. So I think it's a question of trying to get it back into its housing now, which is